It's team time. The next step on the road to the Affiliate Cup is set to get underway. Some familiar faces in new places have something to prove. A naval power returns in Norway, and the Sea of Green is looking to make waves. We preview Team Quarterfinals next. Hi, everybody, and welcome inside the Talking Elite Fitness Studios. I'm Sean Woodland with Tommy Marquez. Team Quarterfinals are now upon us, and the tests have been released. There are 4 tests, one of which has a back-to-back component in it. There are some synchro barbell movements. We got a 3-minute interval in there, a clean and jerk for reps. There's some shuttle runs. If you want to know all the tests, you can head to games.crossfit.com for the details on those, and you can also check out the CrossFit Games Instagram page. What we are going to do today is preview Team Quarterfinals and give you guys sort of a viewer's guide as far as who you're going to want to watch over these next couple of days. And the thing is, at this point of the season, there's just a lot more unknown than known.
Yeah, well, typically, the team competition doesn't really start till quarterfinals because this is our first look at programming. And historically, there's a ton of volatility in the team competition as a whole. You mix in Mayhem's gone. The super team du jour from last year, CrossFit Reykjavik, is gone. But amidst all of that volatility with teams shuffling around, there are 2 podium teams back in full that I think could stake their claim for the crown this year.
Mayhem is gone, and Reykjavik, they're not competing as well, but some of the members of those teams have combined to form a new super team along with Tim Paulson. Andrea Nisler and Taylor Williamson, along with Tolamora Aquino and Tim Paulson, are now a team under the CrossFit East and Nashville Proven banner. They know that this is a crowded space with very talented teams, but they are still confident that they can wind up on top of the podium.
I think the field is definitely deeper this year. You see a lot of the same returning teams coming back again, which is also like a huge factor just because there's a lot of good teams out there already established under the affiliation rule. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things end up playing out this year. I think we have the team experience already there. And as 4 individuals, we're all really capable. I think as long as we are able to figure out how to work together, which we will, we'll get the job done.
I concur.
Anytime you have Andrea Nisler and Taylor Williamson on your team, you have a chance to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. The proficiency of this team starts with the foundation of Taylor and Andrea, and you can make a case coming off of 2 back-to-back Affiliate Cup titles and their accomplishments beforehand that they're arguably 2 of the best to ever do it as far as a female pairing in the Affiliate Cup. But more importantly, they've built that resume under a constant state of change, whether it's teams, gyms, locations, other teammates, life influences outside of training. They are battle tested. And then you add in Tola, who has a ton of team experience and has showcased some improved individual capacity this year. And then Tim Paulson, consistent high performer, 6 consecutive appearances at the CrossFit Games, who I think brings a broad skill set, but more importantly, an open mindset that should allow him to fit into this team seamlessly.
You mentioned some teams returning that were on the podium last year. One of those is CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue, and they have all 4 of their members back from the team that stood with a medal around their neck in Madison last year, and they are hoping that this year's version is even better than the version in 2022.
So it's going to be the same 4 people, and hopefully in better shape, better individual shape, because we've changed our focus a little bit this year. Last year, we started training as a team in early January. We had a couple of sessions a week doing the worm, doing synchronized stuff from January. But this year, we've teamed up with Joachim Rygg and Kristin Holte from the Krieger training. And now we have specific individual focus, I think, until mid-April, until we start doing team stuff again. So it's the same team and hopefully in better form and better as a team and building on our previous experience from the games from 2021 and 22.
Well, Proven is going to have a lot of the hype because of who they have on the team. But look, Oslo Navy Blue, they have experience, and that means a ton in the team competition.
And they've got 2 silver medals to boot. And I think adding, the Krieger training team is only going to help that. And I think this weekend in particular is an opportunity to showcase those improved individual skills that Ivan mentioned in the soundbite that they've spent time working on specifically. You look at the comparison of last year's quarterfinals on the worldwide leaderboard, they had 3 finishes outside the top 10. It was an event 1, which is an individual relay, individual performances back to back. Event 5, which was a relay, and then in Event 4, they were in same-gender pairs, where I think the newcomer Nikolai and Ivan had some of those individual skills exposed on the synchro side. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a drastic improvement from that in this year's relay event for quarterfinals. And don't be surprised if, as a result of focusing on the individual, some of the team elements fall off just a tad, but they've mentioned that they're going to start dialing back those in April specifically, knowing that they've done that well in the past.
Let's stay in Europe. And a team that made some noise last year was CrossFit Zarut's Train Cult. Doesn't look like we're going to get to see them, though, repeat that this year.
Yeah, a team that finished 27th at the games last year probably won't be repeating the feat this year. If you look at who is in their makeup this year, they're really just a collection of individual athletes that just signed up on a team under their affiliate banner, because they've had I think 6 of their 9 athletes qualify for individuals for semifinals. Fabi Benaito, Aniel Akai, Daniel Camacho, Alexander Anastagasti, Oyana Moya, Maribel Gallardo, the list goes on. And given the choice between individual and teams this year, I think more of them are going to choose to go individual, which ultimately puts team by the wayside.
I'm sure some more teams are going to show up on the radar over these next couple of days that we are not talking about right now. But heading into team quarterfinals, what teams do you have your eye really on over these next 4 tests?
Well, one team in particular that I think deserves to be the kind of third horse in this 3-horse race for the top of the podium based on past performances, and that's CrossFit Invictus, the third place team from the CrossFit Games last year. They're returning all 4 members of their team. They forgoed individual aspirations to come back and try and win the crown. And their consistency across the board is really their calling card. 22 events across quarterfinals, semifinals, and games when looking at worldwide leaderboards and their competition. Only 1 finish lower than 10th. Only 4 lower than 5th. Their performance at the CrossFit Games, all top 10s, was phenomenal, and they're coming back better than ever. I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see them contending for the top spot on the final day at the Games, and this is just the first step of that. But going around the rest of the world, the top team in Oceania this year, Taurian Mayhem. Most of the top teams from that region have essentially disbanded, and Taurian Mayhem has been left to kind of pick up the pieces. Royce Dunn, Brandon Swan, the 2 male athletes. They've added Christy Bishop from EXF's 15th place team at the Games, Marty Sykes from Selwyn's 6th place team at the Games last year. So they are going to be the lead dog, and I don't think it's going to be close. Then Move Fast, Live Heavy 24/7. Top 10 team at the Games last year, returned 3 of the 4 athletes. And the one change, Chloe Gavin David, who is on the Games team at Pro 1 Montreal, top 10 back-to-back years, and then an individual Games athletes. Let's see if that's a huge boost for them this year.
Let's take a look at some of the key dates that you're going to want to keep in mind here, whether you're competing or whether you're just a fan, as we work our way through these next 2 days of the team quarterfinals. Things, of course, get kicked off on March 29th. That's today when the tests are released. The first scores for tests 1 and 2 will be due noon Pacific time on March 30th. And then the final scores are due on March 31st. That's Friday. And then you have 20 teams that will advance from most of the regions. 40 teams will advance from North America, East and West, and Europe. They will move on to the semifinals and ultimately compete for a spot at the CrossFit Games. We'll have a lot more team coverage coming up over the next couple of days. We will be live on our YouTube channel starting Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, when we will recap day number 1 of the team quarterfinals. Tim Paulson from that Proven team will be joining us, so that'll be fun. We'll also have Lauren Khalil and some coverage from around the world there. And then on Friday, Lauren Khalil and Tommy Marquez will be with you again, 3 p.m. Pacific time, and we will be talking to some of the members of that Invictus team that Tommy just talked about. Good luck to everybody who's competing these next couple of days. Remember to meet those standards and hold each other accountable, because you don't want to get a penalty and have a bad time and not make the semifinals. For Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll talk to you on Thursday.